Hello friends and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Kathy. Thank you for joining me today. We are working on a project that has become, it's a passion project for me. I have 5 panels here. I did get an additional 2 panels done. That just goes to show, whenever I have a little bit of time available in my day to sew or anything, I try to get in my sewing room and press a panel out. This is the Bags of Love. This is part 2 or step 2 of the Bags of Love. I'm just getting on into it because it is actually lunchtime and I had everything set up to do this, and I'm like, let me go in and get it done. So what I am doing is doing my step 2, and that is sewing on the grid line. I will show you here. Oh, I see I have a piece here that's trying to come unstuck, but guys, that is okay. The grids that you can see, you may not be able to see it on this, but you have those grid lines, and you can literally just fold it over. That looks like the piece that is trying to come loose. And it does need to come. It needs to come loose because it's too far over. But I'm going to show you anyway. On that grid line, when you use these and put those pieces in, it folds perfectly. Really quick and easy. And that's what I'm doing here with this one. I just flop it over on that grid line, and I'm sewing it at 1/4 inch. This ensures that all of your pieces, the seams match up if you use this grid line. Yeah, grid lines. If you use the grid fabric interfacing. So what I'm doing is just sewing it at 1/4 inch. I'm going to my next fabric or my next panel, and starting it, just fold that one over on that grid line. Sometimes you have a piece of one of the fabrics that goes over the grid line just a little bit and makes it a little harder to fold that over. That's okay. Go on and fold it. You may have to hold it with your hand until you sew over it. I have seen some people do trim these folds. I don't. I leave them there. I go with it. I just go with the fold. Because I know if I follow my grid and fold on that grid line, and I sew on that 1/4 inch, I know that the edge of the fabric will be caught in my seam. So you probably notice here how easy that is. You just flop it over. It folds right on that 1/4 inch. My sister and I, of course, did our Saturday thing. We went and had breakfast at Magnolia Cafe in Mangham, Louisiana. It's a very beautiful, it looks like it's an old house converted into a restaurant. It's very small, very quaint little cafe. And we thought, well, it's still a new place to us. Oh, and this is one of my new ones that I did. Of course, it's the Love Struck line. So with this restaurant still being a new restaurant to both my sister and I, we like to try different things and then share it so each other can try it. She got the tomato gravy with biscuit, and I got the sausage gravy and biscuit. And once we started trying it, she really liked the sausage gravy biscuit, and I love the tomato gravy biscuit. I love tomato gravy anyway. My mother has even come to my house and stayed the night and made me tomato gravy because I cannot make it for the life of me. I cannot make it. And I love some good tomato gravy. And theirs was actually really good. And my sister, she's like, it needs to be more tomatoey. And I'm like, it's perfect. But she, like she said, she thinks her taste has changed. And I'm like, I think mine has too. Because now I have to have things saltier than I used to need them. And that's quite strange for me. Because I didn't used to eat a lot of salt, but now I do. Foods, I'm like, it needs more salt. But like she said, she thinks she needs more flavor. And I don't know. I think the tomato gravy was delicious. But I gotta quit eating all them carbs again. I've been doing fairly decent. I'm not going to say really good. I've been doing decent. I have at least one meal a day that I don't have the carbs at all. And I try to make that my first meal of the day with high protein. But since I didn't do that today, that means my lunch is going to be nothing but protein. Okay, so we've got that first row done. Being of all 5 panels, being that we are doing this in a streamline, and then we're going to do the second row. And how you do the second row, you just raise this row up and fold at that second row. Now, this panel here that I'm working on is a panel that I did piece together. Because I told y'all, I don't waste anything when it comes to this, because this is fairly expensive. This is one of the things I think that has gone up in price. I was able to get this $6 a panel. So guys, if y'all are looking for this and would like to get some, I can't recall how big a panel is, but I can get 2 bags out of a panel. The first one I can cut whole, and the second one I piece it from the leftover from the first one. But I'll just do that with all of my panels. And if you have a piece that is trying to come up and you think it's going to affect, say like I have a piece right here that really is not wanting to lay down. So what I'm going to do is flip it from the other side. And maybe that'll hold that piece of fabric down. Because I don't know what happened to that piece of fabric, but it's not wanting to lay down. It's wanting to come off. See, and I have a piece right there on the edge that's not. Now, that piece on the edge that's not acting right, I will catch that. But I don't know. The first one did fine, and it's just the second one decided to go wonkus on me. But I could easily do these one at a time. But y'all can see how fast this goes. I'm doing 5 bags at once. I'm just sewing the grid, which means I do all of my long rows first, because it's easier when I do the short rows with the long rows already sewn. It's easier because it's not as many that I have to make sure the seams are laid, that sewn seam is laid the same direction. Since it's only 5 rows it's going across, I don't have to worry about it. But we are getting these bags done. Before you know it, I'm trying to see how long it takes to do the 5 bags, because I literally have an hour. So I am hoping that I can get 5 bags done in an hour. I'm on my second row of my 5th panel. And we're in about not even 15 minutes yet, so we're not doing bad timing. Okay, so now we need to trim those apart again, and then we'll do the third seam. This is like I was saying, I couldn't think of the word. It's like a production line. We got it all stretched out here, and we're doing one thing at a time. But hey, if I can get 5 bag bodies done, sewn in an hour, and I will continue to press more of these panels. So as we go, I may be adding more and more to this, but I'll try to have my bags, you know, already to the same step if I'm able to do it. This week has been a very busy week. I was not able to get as many panels done as I wanted to, but I am hoping this next week will be a little better. But we just never know. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, I thought I was going to go see my grandbaby, but that's not happening. Possibility of weather, and then my daughter can't go with me, and I cannot make that drive by myself. And my husband, he has headed back to work, so yeah, I just know it's not something I can do by myself. I can't do 4 hours by myself and then turn around and drive back 4 more hours. I can't do that. If it was just driving the 4 hours and then staying, that would be one thing, but having to turn around and come back, I can't do that. Because honestly, just sitting here sewing, the way I have my leg positioned, it's hurting right now. We are almost to our 5th bag, and we will only have 1 more row to go. Well, we'll have, once we go the other direction, we'll have 8 rows to go. Because we'll have to do, well, 7, because you do the ones in between the rows, and you have 8 rows, 7 connections. And there are a lot of graduations going on around here, so I'm pretty certain that's everywhere that's having a lot of graduations. I know Joyce said she had a graduation that she went to. And Joyce, I know you were so excited because here we can't, everyone cannot go to the graduation like they were able to when I was in high school. Although my graduating class had 119 people, which is kind of hard to even fathom that amount in a graduating class in Louisiana. And no, I'm in a very rural area. I'm not near Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Newell. I'm not near any of those. I'm in a very rural area, and we had 119, I believe, graduating. That's not how many that walked, but it was a large graduating class. But I know my son, he didn't even, I think they had a graduation, but I think it was in 2020, so, you know, he didn't have a graduation. That was so sad for me because he was my baby. It took me a long time to deal with that because he was my last child. And I honestly grieved not having that last step. You know, when he graduated, for him to move out and start, you know, his life as a young adult, I didn't get to have that. So I honestly grieved him not having a graduation. It was so hard for me. because I was thrown into empty nest syndrome without forewarning. Almost, I knew he was graduating, you know, but it almost feels like I didn't go through all the steps for that. And it, you know, I had empty nest really bad after he, you know, after he left. But now it's okay. It's very okay. I enjoy having my time. You know, after 20-something years, I had to learn how to just take care of me. Because I had taken care of children. And, you know, it's true about mothers that, you know, I worked and was a mom. That was pretty much it. I didn't have much outside of that. My life revolved around children's activities, and so it was a struggle. It was a big struggle. So for those parents that are now going through empty nest, it's okay. You'll be okay. It does take a little while. You will be sad for a little while, but it does get better. I'm not going to be one of those that says, get over it, enjoy it. You now have your house to yourself again. But a lot of women don't know how to do with that. I know I didn't. Yes, I had my house to myself, but it was a deafening silence in the house. My husband, he'll ask me, why do you have the TV on? Because I can't stand it being so quiet. And I'm still like that. I still run a TV. If I don't have something going on, I run a TV. Now, like right now, I don't run a TV while I'm sewing. Which I wish I did have a TV here in my sewing room. I have one I can put in here. It's just got to be mounted on the wall. But I honestly don't even have wall space to hang one in here, because right behind my camera is a closet. To the left of that is shelving that's got miscellaneous crafts, books, things like that on it. Now, I will press this. You don't have to press it with this grid. I just like to do it because the end product is a lot better. Because I like to make sure that seam is flat. And I know I can go in, and I'll probably even do that. Instead of going in and doing it right now, I may go ahead and just sew everything flattened out. I can do that easily, and then press it at the end. Y'all, this one here turned out really pretty. I really like these colors. This was sandalwood, I believe, is the line this is. And I have the fabrics and everything to do a quilt in this line. I mean, I have it all here. That was one of the fabrics that I had kitted up. And that is possibly going to be one of the ones after the Battenberg. Not quite sure. Okay, so we have now sewn all of our, and guys, I am noticing like pieces that did not, look at this, did not adhere. That's okay. We're about to sew it the other direction. I have to keep telling myself, because normally I will pull out my iron and press that down. I don't need to do that. I need to just see how long it takes to do the 5 bags to sew them. And guys, we're running at about 30 minutes right now. So we're still good with time. Now I'm going to show you here. This one here, I pieced another piece on it. But let me start on the other end. You see that there? We're going to flip that. And when we flip this, we have to make sure all of these seams go the same direction. If they don't, that is okay. You can push them with your hands. Not a big issue. I always make mine go down the downward direction. So I'm just making sure I'm lined up really well there. And without pressing this, I make sure just to keep a little pressure on each one of those seams so it stretches out. Okay, we've got that first one. And now we're just going to go to our next one, which this is a pieced seam as well. It's a pieced. It's pieced. And when it doesn't adhere real good, that makes your job a little hard. And for some reason, this one right here wants to be a little difficult. I had all the seams turned the right way, and when I stretched it out, it flipped on me. Since this is a pieced one, I have 2 layers of that grid that I'm going through. Keep that pulled tight so you're not catching a seam wrong in there, and that you don't have a tight seam on the long seams. I know I'm going to face it to me so I can see what I'm doing here. My seams flipped correctly. Now see, this is where if you clip them, you wouldn't have this issue. But I'm not going to take the time out to clip when it takes way less time to just flip it and go on with it. And make sure to keep it on that 1/4 of an inch as well. And if you have your grid lines straight, once all of this is sewn, all of your connecting seams should be perfect. Now, I'm not saying that it can't get off, because it can. If you're not folding on that grid line, you can easily get off, get it off squared where it won't be, you know, your points won't be coming together. But right now we're working just on the first row, getting it started real good. Normally the outside pieces are the ones that have trouble with the adhering. I'm guessing because maybe you don't press as long on the outside pieces. I don't know, because see, like, I have 2 pieces right here that's trying to come loose, and they're outside pieces. So what I'm going to do is start on this end, try to make sure it's all lined up real good, because that's the thing, you have to make sure it's all lined up also, because if it's not lined up, you're getting that off. It's like having your rows off. Okay, so we have all 5 of our panels, that first row done. So we are just going to keep on a sewing here. Well, guys, you are not going to see me sew every single stitch on this, because I am not going to give you guys a full hour video. Lordy, who wants to sit and watch that? But I hope you're sewing. I hope you're getting some sewing done today yourself. Enjoying this. For us, it's a very summery day. It was at 8 o'clock already creeping up to the mid-80s. So that lets me know it's going to be a hot day today. And y'all, I had the funniest thing happen. The other day I asked my husband, since my watering system, my irrigation system is not set up yet. My husband took it off at the end of the season last year and put it away, and he don't know where he put it away, so he can't put it back up. Well, he swears I touched it, but I didn't touch it. I don't. I have no need to play games like that, because I mean, it's my garden. I didn't take it down, so I don't know what happened to the parts. But he's not put my irrigation back in. So I asked him, you know, to look at my onion bed to see how it was. It's in the back. It's in the back of my house. Now, in that back bed, it's kind of like my kitchen garden, because I've got, you know, herbs planted in that bed. I've got oregano back there. I've got rosemary in it. And I've got chives. Remember that. And I asked him, I said, how are the onions doing? Now, these are bulbing onions. Oh, they're doing great. I went out and looked this morning. They're dying. I'm like... So then I realized he thinks chives are onions. He doesn't cook. He literally does not cook. If I left him to fend for himself, I'd better give him, and he's to eat at home. If he is to eat at home, I better just leave a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter and jelly. Because, or he's going to go out and eat every meal. And he tries to do that with me. Now, I'm not going to be one to say I don't eat out, because I love to eat out. But not every single meal. But I just thought that was funny that he looked at the onions and, oh, they're doing fine. And that reminds me, I need to go get my little chainsaw. I have a little chainsaw that I can use around the yard. I have a rose bush that I asked him to prune down for me in February. You know, when you do your biggest pruning on rose bushes. And it never happened. So it is, and it's right here behind this window. So I can't see out the window because of that big, it's a climbing rose to make it even worse. And it's to the eave of my roof. So I'm like, that's got to go. It's got to go. So I asked him again yesterday, I'm like, can you please cut that down? Oh, I don't want that to go. I don't want to get rid of my rose bush. My rose bush, and I'll get rid of it. So I'm going to go find my little chainsaw that is in our shed. I'm going to cut it down all the way to the ground. First off, I don't like the rose bush. It is a climbing rose, and I do not like rose bushes that climb. Very invasive here. Are they beautiful for about a week? They're like an azalea. You've got blooms for about a week, and then they look dead. I can't get out there and deadhead, because when they started looking like that, we were still having lots of rain, lots of storms, and to get there, it's a lot of water in my backyard. And I'm not risking stepping on a snake, because up until last weekend or last week, my yard had not been mowed in over a month. It is finally mowed, but it needs it again. And I can get out there now, so I'm going to get my chainsaw and cut it down. I'm slaughtering the rose bush, y'all. It will come back. Trust me, it will come back. I do this every year in about February, March, somewhere early spring. I will cut it almost to the ground. Well, this year I'm cutting it to the ground. I honestly would like it if it no longer came back up, but it does because it has now grown all the way under the house to the front of my house, and now I have one in the front yard as well. He can have the one in the front yard if he really loves it so much. He can have that rose bush in the front yard, which I don't mind the one in the front yard because I'm not trying to look out a window there. It's not in front of a window. This one is in front of this window right here, and I just don't like my window being covered up by it. I would rather put a big hydrangea right there. I have a hydrangea right here behind me, or a hosta, because I've got big hostas. I've got the jumbo elephant hostas back here in the back. I have very little in my front yard just because I don't sit in the front yard, so I'm not really looking at anything in the front yard, so I don't care if there's nothing pretty in the front yard. But I do sit in my backyard. I sit on my porch when I can, and I love to see the flowers. So I'm just continuing to fold on that grid line. I'm letting the fabric be my guide, which isn't always the best thing, but I can tell as long as it's close to that grid line, I'm good. Now, my local quilt shop, Stitched in Faith, they have a big duffel bag made like this. So I may have to get the pattern from them to do this because I really like that bag. It is so pretty. And it's done, I don't know if they do it with the grid or not, but I know it calls for quilted fabric. So they like you to quilt your fabric beforehand to assemble the bag. That was a class they did last year. But it was so pretty. And in their new part of the building, they have like a thing hanging on the wall down a little hallway that has all their bags hanging on it that they've done. And I'm like, that is so beautiful. Such a great idea. You know, it looks like when you're coming in, like a mudroom maybe that you hang, or what's it called, a hall tree or something that you hang all of your bags and backpacks and hats and jackets on. They have a rail like that down the hallway with all their bags hanging on it. They're really coming along with that addition, and it's looking really beautiful. I'm so excited for them. I was sure hoping to see Miss Deedee there this morning, though, but she was not there. Which, I mean, you know, she doesn't own it anymore, and she don't work there. I'm sure she is enjoying her time, because I think she lives on the lake somewhere, a waterway somewhere. I bet she was enjoying her morning. Let's see if we can get this to fold with all of them pointed down. Yes, we can. I know I said y'all weren't going to see me make every single stitch, but I am making pretty good time. We are about 50 minutes in, so I got about another 10 minutes of sewing that I'm probably going to have more than that because I want to get these done. I will tell y'all how long it has taken me to get this many done. So far we are halfway of our panels. I may pick up the pace a little bit, maybe not chit chat so much, but I do hope everyone is doing well from the weather, that nobody got hurt, no one has, you know, maybe if you were in the line of these storms, I hope you're safe. I hope you're had no damage, no loss of anything. Once you get a few of the seams in there, they'll kind of start trying to lay the right direction. Okay, I'm getting a notice that my thread is out, so what I'm going to have to do is clip it and rethread my needle. So with a Bernina, what you do when you get that, oh, I thought I cut that, maybe I didn't. You just have to clip the thread and rethread your needle. I don't even play the game no more with it. I just clip my thread and rethread my needle. I think yesterday I told y'all I was using Gutermann. I'm actually using Mettler. I am using Mettler threads. That is what I was advised by a Bernina dealer that is recommended. I do have some Gutermann though that I will try. I mean, I'm trying different brands anyway. I'm not married to a brand. I've used Orifil for over a year, but I've been having a lot of trouble out of Orifil thread the last, you know, probably about 6 months. You know, it wants to tear and break and all that, and I don't know if I got a bad lot of thread, which is probably most likely. But I'm going Mettler. Well, I'm probably going to go just whichever one is more, well, I'm not going to say more affordable, because there's some things that go into that. You have silk finish threads, which I don't know if the Mettler is the silk finish or if it was the Gutermann that was silk finished. Okay, now that I'm getting closer to the end, let's say they're wanting to go the wrong way. No, they're not. They're going the right way, but I just made them go the wrong way. I was trying to stitch them from the other side. But we are getting very close to having all 5 of our bag panels made. When I say bag panel, bag body, I'm referring to the same thing. This is just the main panel of the bag. It's the only panel of the bag, really. Now, we will sandwich and quilt in our next video, which will be next Sunday. I received a photo from one of my viewers, Amy, and she showed me where she's been making the bags of love. Well, not bags of love. She's been making the Nantucket mini charm bag, which is the same pattern that I'm using to make my bags of love. But she is using the same pattern to make her some bags. And I think she said they donate to like nursing homes. Her and a friend that work together, they sew together and donate quilts and things to nursing homes and things like that. So it's kind of the same thing, doing it in her local area. And she had a stack of the bags. I think the grid has changed that for a lot of people. It is so easy to do this with the grid. But this is step 2. This is the pattern is the Nantucket mini charm bag. The pattern is down in the description. It is a free pattern from Moda, and there will be more information for the Bags of Love. I will give you a little more information right now. Bags of Love is a project or a passion project of mine. I guess we can call it that because it is a passion project of mine that I am doing myself. It's not something I've joined. It's something, if you want to join, you're more than welcome to join me to do this. I am hashtagging Bags of Love. If I give any information about Bags of Love, if I sew anything with Bags of Love, I'm hashtagging it Bags of Love. What these Bags of Love are, it is bags that I am creating to carry to shelters for women that are in domestic situations, for women that are in addiction situations. I just want to help the women out. This is something small that I can do that most women have at their fingertips any time of the day, all day, every day, and these women may not. If they're in a domestic situation and they have fled the home, they may not think about their shampoo. They may not think about their deodorant or their toothpaste or their hairbrush. All of these items are also in my Amazon wish list. I do plan to expand to more locations, not just my local one. I have another location that I am looking at in Texas. My husband's family my husband has some family over in Texas, and actually his aunt is how I found out about this. It's a home that can house 22 women of any of the same situations, anything that puts these women into a homeless state. And so I have not reached out to them yet because I want to see what kind of undertaking this is with my local center that I want to do these for. I have not found out how many women this will, or how many women I need to make bags for yet. I'm just making bags. My goal is to make 50 bags, and whatever I have, I will give however many they need, and then if I have any left, I will then reach out to other centers that could use them. Because like I said, I have one place already in mind, and that's why I'm doing these. So I just want to make sure I have them taken care of first, and then I will go from there. I'm actually planning on making these bags and having some in stock. So my initial place that I want to be donating to, and y'all notice I'm not saying where it is, and that is strictly for the safety of the women, because it is also for women from domestic situations, and it's sort of like a safe house. And I know most people, they're like, well, if you know about it, a lot of other people know about it. Yeah, but I just don't want to put it out there who they are, because children are involved also, and I don't know if it's as widely known. That's what that is. But I mean, I have multiple places I can look and support. So that is my goal, is to support as many women as I possibly can. And guys, I say my bags are rolling over my table there. So hopefully this does not roll into an hour-long video for you guys. I am just a little bit over an hour, and when I say a little bit, maybe like 5 minutes, if that. I will press these though before I do sandwich them, because I do like them to be a lot flatter, because it is an hour and 7 minutes. I had a few minutes that is pre-record that will be cut out. I don't have a lot of time though. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I have just a couple minutes. So I'm going to say about an hour and 5 minutes to make the tops of 5 bags. So you'll see that there. It is ready. I will press these down. And once I press these down, next week we will be sandwiching and quilting all 5 of them. I will show you how I'm going to be doing this. I will have all of my sandwiches done. I will have everything laid out, ready to go. I'll have them stacked here. But think about it. You have your lining, your batting, and your top to make that sandwich. So we are going to have all of these pressed. I will have all of these pressed already before we come together. I will have all of my batting cut for each panel. And how I do that, I lay my lining, then I lay my batting, and then I put this on top, and I will start stitching on the outer edge, like right here. I'll stitch on the outer edge to put like a stay stitch on there to keep it in place so it doesn't move. And then I'll just start going up and down each seam to quilt it. So guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you come back next Sunday, and I'm hoping you're making some bags maybe for people in your area. If not the bags, maybe some sleeves. If you want to make some bags and donate to me to stuff, please do. You can use your scraps and do this. You don't have to have the grid paper. These are 2.5-inch squares. The pattern is down in the description of this video. You can make some, send them to me. I will stuff them. My address is down in the description. You can ship to that address. It is a P.O. box, but my post office knows hold any boxes that I get, and I'll pick them up. Sometimes they call me. But feel free. Give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do. It does help my channel grow. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.